Hello there. Brexit firebrand Anne Widdecombe has launched a furious attack on Boris Johnson's approach to Brexit. Firstly, please subscribe and like this video to give my channel a boost, and I'm always uploading new content, so please do check back daily. The former Tory minister and Brexit Party MEP, Anne Widdecombe, says Boris Johnson is showing a lack of resolution and should right now be preparing properly for a no-deal exit from the Brexit Implementation Period. Chatting with Jonathan Saxton of Brexit Watch, Anne Widdecombe seemed to be less than impressed with the Boris Johnson government on a number of fronts, and made her views known in her normal, forthright and feisty manner. In the video called Anne Widdecombe the Sequel, Boris's Betrayal, Northern Ireland Sold Out, she started by saying that she hadn't changed her mind over the government handling of the coronavirus pandemic, saying that the contradictions and the chaos have grown rather than diminished. And she said it all stems from the malaise that every government suffers from, and that is the requirement to be seen to be doing something. So you end up taking actions for the smallest of changes, and she suggested that a more consistent approach would be better. She also took a poke at Rishi Sunak's Eat Out to Help Out scheme, saying that she had lunched out recently at a garden centre and there was no way for her to pay the full amount. "I have actually had a government subsidy to buy lunch," she said. "I do not need a government subsidy to buy lunch, but some other poor person really in agonies of financial worry about this crisis, that person needs the money. And as ever, it's not being properly directed." Anyway, on to Brexit. Both Anne Widdecombe and Jonathan Saxton seem to be of the opinion that we're now heading for a no-deal exit from the Brexit Implementation Period. Something I would tend to agree with, because Brussels will never make a deal with the UK unless we hand over our fish and agree to be bound by EU level playing field and state aid rules, meaning ECJ jurisdiction over UK matters. But as this no deal is looking more likely, Anne was scathing about the government reaction to that increasing probability. "In your introduction," she told Saxton, "you said it is looking likely that there won't be a trade deal by the end of the year. If that is the case, it is time that government actually got a grip of the situation now. Boris said, with wisdom, at the beginning of the year, if we haven't got a recognised shape of a trade deal by June, we are going to have to withdraw. Now he's saying, with the usual lack of resolution that has been exhibited by this government, now he's saying, well actually, we'll wait till October. We're getting to a point where British business needs an answer. You plan for WTO terms, you don't just plan for it in theory. Now the government is saying we can't get a deal, well then you plan for WTO terms. It won't do that. Everybody is in limbo waiting for the government to recognise the inevitable, which is that the EU is not going to give us the sort of trade deal that we want." And looking at the situation in the round, you do have to agree with her assessment. Although there is always the possibility that the government is doing a lot of work in the background. The trouble is that it is business that is in limbo about this. Ever since the EU referendum result, the message coming through loud and clear has been the need for clarity and certainty for business. And for the rest of us come to that. And the clarity needs to come in good time for those businesses to put procedures in place to deal with it. And I'm not sure leaving everything to October is going to cut the mustard here. In fact, all it will do is increase the calls for the UK to go cap in hand with a begging bowl and ask for a late Brexit Implementation Period extension. Something that Boris Johnson said he would never do, and UK statute law won't let him do it. At present. But laws can be changed, and as we know when looking back at the Theresa May government and the likes of the Ben Surrender Act, even far-reaching constitutional statute laws can be changed within days. And looking at the indecision currently hanging over this government, you do have to wonder, don't you? Anne Widdecombe also said that one thing she was particularly exercised about was the situation in Northern Ireland. We had a manufactured problem with regard to the border between the North and the South, she said. There is a recognised legal border between the North and the South. We weren't introducing something when they're pulling something out of a hat and saying there's a border. There's already a border there. Absolutely, a national border, a criminal law border, a civil law border, a tax border, and very importantly, and something many people forget, a currency border. Anne Widdecombe went on to say, the fear was that we would police it in terms of a hard border, and that of course had memories of the Troubles. So that was played on hugely by the Remain faction. Well, what a surprise, eh? But we may call these people Remain or Rejoin campaigners, but in truth many of them are EU federalists in the Ken Clarke mould. Remember that back in the 90s Ken Clarke did say that he looked forward to the day when Westminster was a mere council chamber to the European Union. So they have more allegiance to the European Union than they do to the United Kingdom. Anyway, Anne went on to say on this that the Remainers said, you can't have a border, even a very soft border, even with technology checking on lorries several miles away. Even with the softest of soft borders, there was a huge build-up of drama because Remain saw that as a major weakness. And then went on to say that at least we weren't signed up to the Theresa May's withdrawal agreement, where Northern Ireland would stay in the EU customs union. But it's still very bad, she said. And she went on to say that in order to prevent a border in Ireland, we've effectively put a border down the Irish Sea between Great Britain and Northern Ireland. And also that, I never saw a clearer recipe for the breakup of the UK than that. And she went on to say that if in time, as she suspects, the UK does really well, then Northern Ireland will want to be part of the UK and not bound like this into the EU. So I feel very strongly that this is a bad deal for Northern Ireland and it was unnecessary, she said. We should have stood up to them and said, no hard border, but yes, of course, there'll be a soft border, but we'll refine technology and manage it in different ways. And that was the stand we should have taken. Not much to argue with there, is there? And there's a lot more, and I've left a link to the video in the descriptions box below. Anyway, if you want to hear more from me, please don't forget to subscribe and also press that little bell, or you won't get any notifications. And if you want to see more of me, buy a mug with my mug on it. So, do you agree with Anne Widdecombe's assessment of Boris Johnson's handling of the pandemic and Brexit? Please share and comment, and thank you for watching.